Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we're going to be talking about everything that has to do with South Africa versus India, the second T20I. And now we obviously know that South Africa has won the first one with an amazing feat. I mean, it was an absolutely amazing performance from our two batters, particularly Rassie van der Dussen and David Miller, and as well as Dwayne Pretorius, that really put on an amazing performance to take South Africa over the line and chase down what was the biggest total that was ever set against South Africa. So it was something to really be proud about as a South African nation, because I don't think many people were sitting there after India put the target of 212 on the board thinking that we were going to chase that down with ease. But we did excellently to do so. So I was very impressed. But we're going to preview the second T20. We're going to talk about selection. We're going to talk about what we'd like to see. We'll talk about maybe different types of scenarios as well. If you guys want to come on, uh, let me know in the live chat what you guys think as well. But before we get started with the preview, before I get going with everything, please just, you know what you have to do. There's a certain amount of things that I would like you guys to please do, and that's subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, and don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You'll get amazing insight into cricket from various experts of the game, actually, in fact. So we've got a lot of guys, fans and writers that will write for us and give us excellent insight, interview different types of people, to get insights on different themes. We try to do themes that are evergreen, that can last for quite some time, and that can still be relevant to you in a couple of months' time if you want to go back to them. So I'm hoping that you guys do go back, read the other issues, and continuously support us by subscribing to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. It's always very important for you guys to do so. So thanks you for the people that have supported us as well. If you want to become a patron and help out with the channel and help myself out and the team out and help out this channel, then please get involved with the Patreon account. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. We also have amazing updates on cricketfanaticsmag.com, where we update you on the latest news and things that we are doing as well. We try to post as much on there as possible. So go ahead and follow us there too. It's very important that you also do that. Other things that you'll have to do, smash that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Do all of those things, please, because that's how we get into recommended feeds. I mean, yesterday's you guys smashed the living daylights out of that like button, and we actually were doing quite well on YouTube. The video is doing quite well, the review of yesterday's show. So we want to see more of those type of shows going forward, and I hope you guys will help out by smashing that like button or leaving a like on the video. So let's get straight into today's video. I put the link out in various groups. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this link also in the live chat. If you guys want to call in and have a conversation with me, I want to hear what you guys have to say for a change, and see what you guys think about this game, and think about this particular match and what you would like to see in this match. So I'm going to put the link in the live chat if you guys want to call in and have your say with me. It will be interesting to hear what all of you guys have to say as fans too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. Hope you guys are all well. We are going to be doing the preview show today. I'm going to be talking about the match and everything that has been happening. We've got some excellent insight all online, of course, of different things. We've got the likes of Rassie van der Dussen that has spoken as well. There might be a little clip that I want to play for you before we get into this preview. Let me just see if I do have it available easily for you guys, that I can bring it up on the screen. It is something that was done by the media manager of Cricket South Africa, Supukazi. She interviewed Rassie after the game. And yeah, we put it up on TikTok for you guys to be able to see, but I just want to play it because it will give us some nice insight into what Rassie's thinking was during this game. It's very important for us to actually know what players think, how players are feeling, what they think about the game, etc. I will show you as well. There was an article that Abai did. You know Abai, guys. Abai's come on the show quite a bit. There was an article that he did with the quotes that I'd like to read out to you guys, maybe some of it. We do like to, for you guys that don't know, on cricketfanaticsmag.com, we do reports after straight after the game as quickly as we can put it up, because I need to still also come on the show and do our review. So I try to get the report up as soon as possible, and then we do press conference reactions. So the reaction pieces based on the press conferences with the quotes, they normally look like something like this, like I'm going to show you right now. Let's just bear with me for 2 seconds then until I bring it up. This will be from the site, so you guys will be able to see it directly. So we do quotes pieces so that you guys, maybe if you don't have the time to if you guys don't have the time to maybe watch the videos or watch the show, sometimes you might want to just read something quickly and to get the quotes of different things, then we do provide that for you. So that's why we do these type of pieces for you, where we do like these type of reaction pieces, quotes pieces, based from the press conference itself. So I'm going to be reading some of that out to you, so that you guys have a look, and then I'll also play you a little clip from Rassi if I can get it to myself quickly. I deleted it from my computer. I thought I didn't, but I did, unfortunately. But let's get into this one. So long. Trust the game plan despite strike rate, says Rassi van der Dussen. So let me just read this out to you quickly. Some of the quotes that Rassi had to say. So Abai has written a bit of his own insight into the game as well. So if you guys do want to check that out, please go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. But I just want to read one particular thing, and that was particularly about Rassi, who felt that he started a bit slow. He said, yeah, it was a tough match. Having played a match here last week, we knew that it's a fast scoring ground, and India batted really well to cross 200. But we know that if we batted well, we'd be able to chase it down. David did well to get me through the difficult patch there in the middle, but we had clear plans and communicated clearly. Very good to hear that from someone like Rassi, to give credit to his partner as well. I mean, it's an obvious thing, but it's nice to hear it, just to know that the team is still in good spirits. It was pretty good wicket. There was some help from the spinners as well as some swing. It was quite a fast outfield, so you get value for your shots. I took a while to get used to the conditions here. I was a bit slow at 30 from 30, but I knew that if I could get a couple of them away, the momentum will shift. So I suppose the lesson here is trusting the game plan and having a clear mindset regardless of strike rate. So that was something that jumped out to me personally, because he's talking about something that we've been talking about on the channel probably relentlessly, talking about strike rates in T20 cricket. And we've been saying that how it is important, particularly in the middle overs. I think in the middle order, it's quite important. And if one person is striking at the top as well, I think that is also very important. If you can get two to strike at the top and complement each other perfectly, that's obviously the ideal paradise situation. But yeah, like I've said on previous shows, and on the review show yesterday, I was talking about that I do still believe that someone like Temba Bavuma is a good opening partner for Quinton de Kock. But let's look at what Rassi had to say. I just want to share this particular video. This was done on the field after the game, so it's very interesting to be able to get content like this. And we have to give a massive appreciation and shout out to Superkazi, who's doing an excellent job over there, bringing us content, even though it's difficult at sometimes to be able to do so. So why is that not working? Okay, let me just see something quickly else. Let me do something else quickly. It's an MOV file, that's why. Okay. 2 seconds, guys. I just want to play you this as well. What the hell? Okay, just give me 2 seconds quickly, guys. I just want to quickly do this. Yeah, so I would like to hear what you guys have to say, what you have to say about what Rassi had to say. I don't think Rassi necessarily needs to be spoken about right now. I think he performed quite well. I mean, there was obviously certain points in the game At that certain point, there would have been probably a lot of fans sitting there watching the game and like maybe complaining or shouting at the screen and asking what is Rassie doing. And then it actually paid off in the end. He went on to strike really well towards the end and actually win us the game with David Miller. So sometimes we also need to be a little bit maybe patient as fans. I think that's the lesson maybe that I got out of it, because I was one of those guys sitting there being like, come on Rassie, what you doing? Come on Rassie, what you doing? Like I was consistently sitting there and like being like, Rassie, you need to move it now. You'll be getting behind in the game. And he proved us all wrong. As usual, these players normally seem to prove us wrong in many occasions. So it is quite tricky. I've got my first caller on the show. I don't know if it's going to be a short caller. It's a Friday night. Hoping that Lawrence is going to stay on. Welcome to the show, Lawrence. Good to see you here,
Hi,
brother.
Khalid, man. How are you? You good today?
How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing great.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I had a little bit, maybe I had a little bit of a moment earlier on when I just
Yeah,
went into a little bit of
I
a
saw
bust.
it Twitter. I saw it Twitter. A little bit of a run.
Yeah, a little bit of a rant. I just needed to let it out a bit. Sometimes, you go through
All good,
things in
man.
life, and then sometimes you like, okay, you just want to let it out. But how are you doing, man? Let's have a chat.
Yeah,
How are you doing? How was your week?
yeah, I'm good, man. I'm with the start of work, so yeah, just chilling tonight. Um, having a drink. I'm actually having a drink here now, so I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. It's fine.
But I'm good,
I'm
man.
not the one
Look,
drinking, so it's okay.
looking forward to Sunday though. Looking forward to Sunday after what happened yesterday. Really proud of the boys. I think I've been calling for that type of brand of cricket that we need to like play going into that World Cup. And yeah, a few surprises in the team also. Obviously with Markram. I don't know. Does he have COVID or is it
Yeah, he
something
has
else?
COVID. He has COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe okay, yeah, maybe Klassen is gonna come in. Even Stubbs in the middle order. And then they strung as a surprise. Brought in Paul, went Paul now, and obviously the two all rounders. But I think that also gave Timber a little bit of bowling options because that's normally
Mm.
one of our Achilles heels in T20 and ODI cricket. Going in with five frontline bowlers, the one goes and then you sit with a little bit of a headache. And yesterday, Shams you went for plenty, but we had a backup of Pretorius as well as Wayne Parnell. And just to get on Wayne Parnell, I've been tweeting
Yeah.
um, of late that people are basically sleeping on him. I think since he's
Yeah.
been back in our domestic circuit, I think he has been superb. In the thing I quite liked about him is for Western Province, he plays all formats. He plays 40 cricket,
Yes.
50 over cricket,
That's what
and
I
T20
think
cricket.
that was the thing that actually
So
got me, I think. That's the thing that actually got me
yes,
on the side of Wayne Bonnell is the fact that he came back. Because some Colpacks, they come back and then they want to only play one format or two formats, or they only want to play do
yeah,
what
yeah,
they want to do.
yes,
And
yes,
Wayne,
yes,
with where Western Province Blitz are at the moment and where they were last season, for him to sacrifice that and come play in all formats, I thought
exactly.
I was really
And I
chuffed by
think
that,
he could have,
especially the TKO knockout as well.
yeah, he was there, he was there. So I was really chuffed about his performances, and he just brings a sense of calmness to our team as well. I think he's a little bit more experienced now as well, been around the block, played in various tournaments around the world, and I think
Mm.
he wasn't flustered at all yesterday. It was a packed house at New Delhi, but he wasn't flustered at all. Just went about his business, and I think he's definitely he definitely stake a claim now for that World Cup all round the position. The thing is, will be interesting. The thing going forward, are we gonna persist with this two all rounders? Because I quite like it.
I
It
like
gives
it.
Timber, like I said, it gives Timber. It brings a lot of balance to our side. And T20 is the one game where you can like you you need to have a bit of everything because you don't know what's gonna happen on the day. You understand what I mean? And with Wimpanel there, it gives you a betting option as well. He's a proper batter. Wayne
Yeah.
Parnell is a prop. People don't seem to understand. This guy is a proper batsman. He can play two games as well. He can knock it around. He have good shots, nice strokes, and he can if he needs to um, um up the rate, he can hit boundaries as well. He's a good boundary striker as well. And I think he's taking a claim for a World Cup spot. And another guy that surprised, another situation that surprised me yesterday, and you tweeted it, you said you in the 50% club, and that is
At that
Dwayne
moment, I
Patron.
was in the 50% club.
Yes,
At
yes,
that
yes.
very moment.
I was I was watching the game and I was like, Temba gone, okay. Yeah, Rashi. I was actually shouting on the screen, yeah, Rashi's coming in now. So I said, Dwayne Couture. And I was like, what? So okay, give him a chance. Because I remember um it was a dead rubber game. I think we won the series against Pakistan like a few years back.
We scored a 70 or
And
something, or 69 or
he
70 or
came
something.
in at yes, he
Yeah,
came in at three. He absolutely smoked it that day. And he scored
yeah.
like a 70 odd against Pakistan. It was good Pakistan as well. And I think yesterday we saw also with him that you also can be that guy if we need someone who,
Mm,
like, if we say we're chasing a big total, that
yeah.
if we need a pinch hitter, then he could be that potential guy. Look, we all know it's not gonna come off every day. Like next game on Sunday, it might be different. If it does
Mm.
come in three again, it might be the first bowler, or
Cricket's a
or it does.
fickle game, yeah. Cricket's a
It's a
fickle
funny
game.
game, you know. And with that type of if you go with that type of style or like the pins hitter style, it's a lottery basically on the day. Like
Mm,
what's gonna happen on the day? You're either gonna hit a couple out of the ground like he did yesterday,
yeah.
or he's gonna struggle and chow up balls, or
Hmm.
he's gonna get out first ball. So it's like
Mm,
it's a 50-50 basically.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite happy with our things win yesterday. And
Yeah.
just to touch on it on the Timber situation, let's just address that quickly.
Yeah.
For me, like I said on many occasions, I'm one of Timber Bavuma's biggest fans. I'm one of his that guy is a quality cricket. In the test format for me, is one of the most important guys in our team. Probably our best test match batter for the past 2.5 years. In the one day side, he's been amazing since he's made his debut against Ireland many years back. He scored a ton on debut. He's been excellent in that format since the game is evolving. Basically, by game, we see extraordinary things in T20 cricket game by game. And I think with the game moving forward at a rapid pace at the moment, for me, in my opinion, I just don't
Hmm.
feel I feel we can do better in T20 cricket than a guy like Tema Bavuma. That's my opinion. I think he's a
Yeah.
fantastic captain, and that is the one thing actually that really
That we
impresses
need.
me about him. Yeah,
That's one thing I
just
feel that we need.
exactly,
So can I just add
and
on
that
to that before you move on? Can I just add on to that a little bit?
yes,
So my point of view on Temba, like I've been analyzing him quite a long time now in domestic cricket, seeing how he's performing and for South Africa as well. There was actually I had doubts about it as well from a T20 perspective. Quite a few.
yeah,
I think about a year ago or so, and we did an interview with Temba, and we put up we did a I think it was our third or fourth issue. I can't remember exactly which issue it was of Cricket Fanatics magazine, but we did an
yeah,
whole issue on it about Temba's T20 game and what he wants to try and to achieve from a mental perspective. Because I think that he was trying to figure out his game as well in the T20 arena with the game evolving as well. So he spoke about wanting responsibility and all of those type of things, and I like that factor. The things about Temba that I'm pro Temba for in this T20 squad, and I'm going to mention it again. I don't think Quinton de Kock needs an anchor by the words of it. It's not an anchor that I'm looking for to open with Quinton de Kock. And I'm not saying Quinton de Kock can only bat with Temba Bavuma. He's proven to be able to bat with many other batters. But from my
of course,
analysis and watching games live, I've watched him at the Blitz with Yanaman Malan. I don't remember them putting on good partnerships together. When one of them performed, the other one would go out. When the other one performs, the other one would go out, lose their wickets. I see, for me personally, when I look at Quinny, he's a guy that gets frustrated with himself at the crease if he's not getting the ball at the middle of the
oh, yeah,
bat. So, and I can see sometimes he gets frustrated and then he throws his wicket away. And
yeah,
yesterday it happened again. With Dwayne was taking majority of the balls and taking the strike. Quinny thought, okay, let me also do the same, and then he loses his wicket. Where sometimes he just needs to remain calm. The reason I feel that Quinton de Kock has been so successful over the years in South African cricket He had Hashim Amla, one of the calmest people in cricket history, at the other end
A
with
lot.
him, giving
Yeah.
him. For me, it's more in the mental side of it than his Temba's actual cricket ability. What effect does he have on Kwani? And when I heard Quentin de Kock speak about it, and Quentin de Kock doesn't speak a lot. And Quentin de Kock doesn't necessarily talk about things specifically, how it is. He'll just like, you can see him in press conferences. He's almost like looking at his nails, and he's not really focused. But there's a press conference on this channel as well. You need to maybe go find it. I don't know where exactly it is. He spoke about it and about Temba's influence on him from a mental perspective, because I feel that Quinny needs to feel comfortable and free that he can play his natural game without worrying, flip, I can lose a wicket on the other end. Flip, this other guy's getting bogged down. I need to now perform. He gets rushed into things to make it, and then he makes mistakes. And he's so pivotal to South Africa if we want to play this attacking brand of cricket, because he can take a game away from you like that. That's my thing that I see that Timba can add. Now, when you look at it from a batting perspective, if Temba can mold, because he hasn't necessarily been given a proper go as an opener for South Africa. He's been moved
Mhm.
around all around the place. There's never been consistency, and you can't ask any batter to perform well if they're not consistently being be picked in a specific role. They've identified, for example, Rassi doing what Rassi does. They've identified and kind of been okay with Rassi starting as slow as he is. People have kind of been, I'm talking about the management, not us as fans. Obviously, we want to see something different. But management have a kind of let it go in a way, saying, let Rassi be, he's going to come back at the end. And sometimes he goes out still having a 30 ball 30. So when I look at, for example, I'll give a nice example. A lot of people believe that Janneman Malan should be the opening partner for Quinton de Kock. And
Exactly.
I love the idea of that. In fact, I was one of the first people to do an interview with Janneman Malan back in the day when he regionally was playing for Northwest in the back in Fuchak's time. So like, it was so I still did an interview with him, spoke about him. I really loved the way he performs as a batter. He's a very powerful batter, big hitter of the ball. But I've started to notice that when bowlers are smart and accurate, and
Yeah.
Janneman gets boggled down a lot with swing and a lot with spin. Like I've said on previous shows, I feel that Janneman has found a way to survive against that, but he hasn't found a way to dominate that like I feel others have. So I'm assuming that a lot of people are probably going to come with a spinner as an opener. As soon as they see Janneman come out, instantly people putting a spinner into the crease because they know he's going to, especially in T20 cricket. In one day cricket, it gets covered up because he has more balls to bat. He has more time at the crease to bat deep and bat long. And yet, that's not how I've seen Janneman in the past as that type of role to bat deep and long. I always have seen him as an explosive type of batter, but he's adapted his game. We know he's
Mm.
adapted his game. I've seen him adapt his game to try and bat long in innings, try to get those big hundreds for the team. But then where does that leave someone like Quinny? Because I feel that if he's watching Quinny at the other, like I've said before, I've seen Quinny get frustrated when someone else at the other end is not doing what they're doing, or they are getting boggled down, or they're facing dot balls. And then Quinny feels that he needs to take it upon himself, and then we lose a quick wicket. And I think keeping Quinny on average at least minimum till the eighth over, right? That is minimum. 8 to 10 overs is minimum for Quinny. At least let him get as many runs in the power play and then try and kick on further. Because you want him to get quick 80s, quick 60s, quick 70s to put South Africa in a strong position before someone like Rassi comes in. And then Rassi can come in and play his calm game and then hit it down the
Yeah.
line. Or if you really want to accelerate, you've got David Miller, Aiden Markham, all these distant stars possibly. Andy Klassen, you mentioned earlier, maybe can do that role. I mean, I feel that Hendrik has also shown in the past that he can get boggled down a little bit at the other end. You also need some time to settle in. Whereas
Yeah.
players like Tristan, players like David, yes, they need a couple of balls, but once their eyes in, they're gonna go for it and they're gonna attack. So from a from a
Okay.
from a Bavuma perspective, when Quinn is struggling, I feel Bavuma is the perfect person to be able to rotate that strike and find the gaps easily. Where I don't think there's many other batters within this lineup. Even Rassi van der Dussen, I don't think. He's not the type of person that's going to look to for those singles and find the gap easily. When he's not hitting the balls well in the middle and timing it perfectly, he struggles to rotate the strike. And that puts pressure back on Quinton de Kock. So I'm just looking at the current situation and I'm trying to think how we can get the best out of Quinny. That is my most
Yes.
important thing. So, like for me, currently with what we have available, I mean, of course, there's Riley Rousseau and Faf du Plessis and all these guys that we talk about. That's fantasy to think about because it hasn't really necessarily been anything that is probable for South
But
Africa. I have to look at it logically too and see what's realistic.
if you bring like okay, I understand 100% you like from what point of view you're coming from. But I think the problem is gonna be like if say Quinton and Kemba participating, Crunch World Cup game, Quinton is struggling, he doesn't get a boundary. Kemba Bavuma doesn't get a boundary the other end, then we're in a bit of a pickle. So that's my the thing I'm a bit worried about. So I think we must give Kemba Bavuma because we know he's gonna be there. I might call for his head in between cricket. Like I
Which
still
you have the
think
right to do. I mean, you have the right to do that.
we so for me I just think we need to give it if the instruction is like Timber, your main priority is to maximize the power play. That's your job in the team. You go after the attack you maximize the power play as best you can. If Timber Mavuma gets a 30 or 20 balls in the power play, job done.
Happy. Mm.
Takes all pressure off Quinton.
Exactly.
All the imagine on a day, Timber click, Quinton click, we have about 60, 55, 60 odd in the power play. I think that's why I say clear instructions need to be made clear to our openers. Like Temba, you maximize. If Temba gets out early, it's not the end of the world. You get what I'm saying?
So
If he gets
I
out
still,
early,
I think that currently it's not the end of the world if we lose him early because we have Rassi coming in at 3. You know what I
that's what
mean?
I mean.
And
Yes,
and
because
yesterday he showed signs of it. Like the fact yesterday he showed signs of intent. I feel he was unlucky because that same delivery, Ishan Kishan got the exact same delivery, almost like exactly the same time, and he edged it and it went past Kwani the cock. That's when he hurt his finger.
yes, I
Yeah,
remember
and
that one.
so Tima got a similar delivery, which was a bloody good ball, and it's a very good bowler he's batting against, and he edged it. It's just that small margins. If he
Cool.
did, like, I don't want to talk about what ifs, but I mean, if it like in this occasion, if it went past the boundary, which a lot of people were getting lucky with, especially India got a lot of luck edging the balls into slips and into holes in the field. How many times did we see India hit the ball and it just floated in the air and didn't go to a fielder? Like it was plenty of occasions that happened. Whereas with South Africa, it stuck and it went straight into the fielder's hands. So there's luck involved as well. But like my problem is right now is it's done. He's been made captain. He's been selected. They see a
Yeah.
role for him. They've seen a role for
Hey,
him now that they want him to play.
he's not gonna get done.
And like there's no point in us complaining about it anymore. Like we need to find a way for Timba to be. If we can stand here as fans and give the best constructive criticism possible to Temba Bavuma, because I'm pretty sure that some of these players will hear about these things through the grapevine and things that we say. I'm hoping that that's the case, that we are at least making some sort of dent within South African cricket. But if constructive criticism would be better, in my opinion, where we're giving him like our thoughts on what we think he should do, or where we think how we think he should play, because maybe that will inspire him to be better instead of the negativity. The man is the most. I promise you, Lawrence. I almost called you Lorenzo now, but Lawrence, he's one of them, probably the most slated cricketers on social media. Like if you look around, the amount of abuse this guy gets is not fair. It's not fair, and it does affect players. We can say, oh, they need to have thick skins, but that type of abuse and racial abuse as well. And people say, yeah, you always want to use race, but not everybody. Not everybody that criticizes him is being racially discriminative against him, but there is a hell of a lot that are, So like it's a. I want the best for the Proteas, of course. I want them to all be positive, play the best possible cricket that they can. So I'm also trying to figure it out myself. So I don't have the answers. Otherwise, I'd be a coach. But I don't have the answers. But I'm looking at it from an eye perspective and what I'm seeing personally and what I've seen from Quinn. Because I mean, I've seen Temba pull a team together when they were in the dumps. Like, I mean, if you look at him as a captain and his record as a captain, it's so important. It's actually the most important thing right now for the South African team to have a great leader and captain. and someone
yeah,
that can bring together, especially with everything that South Africa's been going through over the last couple of months. So I think that takes priority at the moment, and I feel that Temba will come, especially if the rest of the people are playing around him and doing well. That will motivate him to do well. And majority of the time, what happens when they don't, Temba steps up, and he did
it does.
so. And
It's a,
if he can step up every couple of games, if the rest of the people are performing well, then that's also a good scenario. Can't obviously you can't obviously predict something like that happening, but it could be a good scenario going forward. Um, but can I ask you about the game and go back to the game again? So what is your thoughts for the next game? Who do you think should be dropped? If say Aiden's available, um, who would you drop for
I,
them? I mean, me personally, I would go. I don't think we need two spinners based on these wickets. I would maybe go for Keshav out of the team, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. That's maybe something that I could see.
I've said it earlier as well. If Markram is fit, then it could something to the side. I wouldn't. I won't drop either Parnell or Pretorius. So, and I think since India are so good against spin and they always seem to go after the spinners like they did yesterday, I think it's either it's definitely Kesha for me, like needs to be dropped. But he was actually the better spinner between the two of them, between him and Samuel, if you're being honest. But obviously,
Yeah,
Samuel must
yesterday. Yeah.
play
Yeah.
yesterday. Obviously, Samuel must play. He's our best spinner. He's one of the best T20 spinners in the world. So changes for me if he split, he comes in for Kesha for me, obviously because he can add a little with the ball as well. Sneaking a couple of overs. And again, going back to having Wayne Parnell and Pretorius in the side gives you the perfect balance. You don't have to bowl Markham 3 overs because you can split it with either Wayne Parnell or with Wayne Parnell or Pretorius. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only thing I would do. And since we are looking at options going to the World Cup, I just feel like maybe drop the pinch to act tomorrow and give a guy like Tristan Stubbs an opportunity. Maybe bet him higher up the order. Maybe getting up to Rasi up to number 3 and Tristan Stubbs up to 4. Or maybe Miller to 4 and Stubbs at 5. If you're looking
Uh,
ahead to give him a fair chance. Don't just give him like a couple of overs the back end, like 2-3 overs the back end. Like yes, he may eat a couple of balls out of the park, yes. But I think the South African public want to see this guy back and back
yes.
for a long time. And, like we can actually see like because many let's be honest, many of the people don't watch the match. Like
Mm.
sure some of the people in like like who's this Tristan Stubbs? So give him a fair chance, give him a fair opportunity. Don't just like drop him tomorrow and bring Markham in this, but like for me that doesn't make sense because the guy like he didn't do anything in the first game. So now you're gonna drop him, bring Markham back, like give him a fair opportunity. So definitely stick with Tristan Stubbs tomorrow on Sunday, and Markham comes in for Kesa for me. 100%.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Lawrence. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I love it when you do call in. I'll speak to you again very soon. I hope you watch the rest of the show, but enjoy the rest of your evening as well and your weekend.
Right, enjoy.
Thank you, bro. Okay, some excellent points made. Some excellent points made that I want to discuss right now. Of course, I think he's spot on with a lot of things that he said as well. I mean, we obviously going to defend opinion with certain things. That's natural as all people. I don't think everybody agrees on everything. I mean, if you find someone like that, marry them. If you when it comes to these type of things, when I'm thinking about the team lineup, if Aiden comes back, I'm not sure if he's available for the game on Sunday. It will be interesting to see if he is. But for me personally, I think perhaps we don't need that extra spinner, maybe. And I think that Aiden can do the job that either Shamsi or one of them can do. Here's Werner coming on the show right now, so I have to wait. Let me just get him on the show because it will be interesting to talk to him about this particular thing. Werner, welcome, bro. I'm talking about so far about the selection for the next game. If Aiden Markram is fit, which I don't know if he will be, I don't know how long the quarantine period is now, and I don't know when he was. I can't remember what the release said about when he was picked up that he was positive. If Aiden is available, would you take out of this winning team? Because I mean, do you change your winning team right now? I mean, Tristan didn't get a shot, so I don't think he should come out. I don't think that we need two spinners. I mean, the Braves only bowled 2 overs anyway, so like Aiden can do those 2 overs. I mean, with the lineup that we have now, I think I like the balance of Parnell and Dwayne. Having those two all rounders is so pivotal. But what would you do, Werner, going into the next match?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't expect Markham will be back for the second game, so they might go in with an unchanged lineup. But when he does come back, um, yeah, I'm not sure yet. It might be that they drop a spinner, but it seems like they want to play Keshav in all the matches, so it might turn out to be that they do drop Tristan Stubbs. Um, but hopefully not, because I'd love to see Stubbs
Mm,
playing. But Markham needs to play as well as soon as he's fit. So
mm,
um, yeah, I'm not sure how they will go.
yeah.
Um, but
Hopefully they do decide to yeah, I'd go the same route. I'd probably drop cash off, but I don't think they are going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but that would be the most because Parnell. I like Parnell in this team now. And like I wasn't one of the people that was standing there. I was like, "Ooh, Parnell back." Oh no, I don't know. Because I mean, I've seen him before, but that was when he was much younger, less experienced, of course. I mean, he's been through a lot since the last time he played for South Africa.
He's
So
been through a lot of hairstyles.
yeah, and he's matured a lot as well. I feel. I mean, yes, he still has that bite in him, that youngster in himself. He just still has it within him, but I mean, he has matured a lot. I saw the calmness that he brought to the to the VP Blitz setup. Now, yes, they didn't go on to win things, but they were doing pretty well. I mean, I think they were doing a lot better consistently across formats than they did last season. I think they really struggled last season, but this season, I feel that he brought some calmness. And I mean, speaking to some of the VP Blitz players, a lot of them have spoken about it to me personally off the record about how I'm not going to mention who said what, but I'm saying I've spoken to some of them about Parnell and what he's added into the mix, and they said no, he adds this amazing calmness into the mix, and he's so willing to help everybody and the youngsters especially. So for him, for Marco Jansen in this squad, I think it's the perfect person. Not the or I want to say perfect person, but it's a great person to have within the team to kind of guide you and aid him, because he can teach him a hell of a lot about particularly bowling left arm seam and getting the swing. And we saw how he was getting swing yesterday in that pitch. He bowled really well yesterday. Now my concern is though with any team would probably be when others don't perform around you, do you still pick it up and play under pressure situations? So I'm hoping that we see that. But what's nice about this team is that we have like almost four death bowlers in this team. I would even throw KG maybe into the mix as one of those options as a death bowler. Anrik Nokia was the death bowler yesterday. And then we've got Dwayne Pretorius, who's been trusted as a death bowler in the World Cup, as well as for CSK as well this season. So in certain games that he played. So it's nice to see that we've got variety, that these players can be able to move around. It gives them so many options. And I like that. So for me, one of the all-rounders, I want both of them to stay personally. I know we're talking about what they could do or what they should or what they would do, so let's see what happens with regards to that.
And I
Approach
think
wise,
if you look ahead at Australia, in the World Cup, I don't see us playing two spinners on the Australian decks necessarily. I don't think we'll need two spinners. It'll be better to have two pace bowling all rounders.
can I ask you a question about that? I had a conversation with one of my buddies about this, and he believes that having two spinners in the team in T20 cricket is a must, like no matter where you're playing, because he feels that the chances of taking a wicket and losing your wicket to a spinner is a lot. It's more possible or more probable in T20 cricket than seamers that are bowling 128, whatever they go, bowling quickly, because you know that the ball can fly to the boundary easily if you're getting your lines and links wrong. What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that there is a possibility of having a spin in every single match to as a wicket taking option to rush, or not to rush the bowler, but to force the batter into playing shots or big shots and losing their wickets?
I'd play Shamsi in every match, even though he didn't have a good match the last one. I'd play him always.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think it's a lot easier to play two spinners if one of your spinners is a proper batter as well. It's difficult when you have two guys who aren't. Maharaj can bat decently, but he's not the guy who's going to come in and smash it all over the place necessarily in T20s. So it's a lot easier to play two if you, let's say, like Rashid Khan. He can strike it big from the get go. Asaranga in the past has done decently with the bat. Um, Struggling to get good, give you good examples, but it's difficult to play both Keshav and Shamsi unless the pitch is really turning and it really calls out for it. And then I personally wouldn't. I like two spinners in a T20 match, but then you can throw the ball to Markram as well and give
Sorry,
him
I
a
just want
couple
to
of
add,
overs.
yeah, but I just want to correct myself there because he did mention that. He said if you don't have the extra bowling option, like if you don't have the extra bowling option as a batter, like for example, Aiden, if he's not
Mm.
available, he will always want two spinners within the team somewhere, whether it's a batter that is bowling or having the second spinner. If you don't have the batter that's bowling, he wants the second spinner rather. That's what I mean. That's what I didn't quote him correctly. He's gonna kill me.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense to me. That's how I think about it as well. If we do have Aiden there, I think we can get away with just playing Shamsi. I don't know, I guess it depends on conditions. If it really is a pitch that will be conducive to turn, the outfield is fairly big, then I'll play two spinners. But you'd see, like in Delhi yesterday, even though the pitch was turning a bit, it's very difficult when the boundaries are as small as that. The moment you miss your length slightly, you will travel. So I'd still have the spinners, and I think Shamsi would still be effective if he's on the ball, just because he has a lot of variations. But I don't think it's necessarily for two. I think Keshav Maharaj is a good bowler, but in this format, I would still rather have Bjorn Fortuin or George Linder. I'd rather, if I'm going to play two spinners, then I'd have Shamsi and George Linder, because George Linder can offer a lot more with the bat, even though we haven't seen a lot of it in international cricket just yet. I know what he is capable of, and I remember that series against Pakistan where he was used a bit higher up in the order. When we were basically playing an 11 of all rounders and and almost no top order. They shoved him up a couple of times where he did strike some lusty blows. So if we're going that way, I would rather have George Linder, but I like Bjorn Fortuin as well because he's very effective in the power play. So I feel like we've jumped to Keshav Maharaj because we needed a captain during the Sri Lanka series when Themba Bavuma got injured. And they're like, okay, Maharaj is already there. He was part of the ODI squad. And so Bavuma got injured. So they needed who was going to be captain. And they didn't want to go back to Markram, and there really was no one else. So they decided to go Keshav Maharaj because he has led the Dolphins very successfully. And that kind of forced him into the 11, even though he's a good player, and I think he's exceptional in Test match cricket. I wouldn't have him necessarily in my first 11 in T20s always. So it's a bit of a catch-22 because I think he's probably vice captain right now. So it feels like they feel the need to play him in every match, when I don't think it should be like that.
I get that point. Yeah, it's tough. Let's talk about what ifs. The scenario here. Like, let's think about a scenario here. What I would like to see actually is South Africa bat first. I'm not hoping that we lose the toss and then the opposition decides what we're going to do. But it would be nice to see what we can do batting first and what our approach is going to be, particularly with having opening partnerships with Quinton de Kock and Themba Bavuma, how they can exploit it the most. I like the flash of what I saw from Themba yesterday. He found a couple of boundaries playing in more natural game. Hoping that he can keep that up and maybe maintain that type of mentality tomorrow. But How do you think South Africa should approach if they're starting to bat first? Because I mean, we've struggled in the past to set high totals. We chase very well. We've proven that now, especially with Rassie van der Dussen. He's now proven that he's like a great chaser. That he's done it many occasions. Like for South Africa, for the Lions, for so many occasions I've seen him do it. But what should our approach be when we are like batting first and setting it out?
Apart from David Miller and to some degree Aiden Markram, actually think we prefer batting first. I feel like our batters find it easier when they don't have a set total in mind, when they just go out there and bat. Especially Quinton. I feel like Quinton enjoys that. He did a lot better batting first in the IPL as well. Um, I don't think it's a major deal. It's going to, in the end, come down to how we are able to defend it with our bowlers, which won't be easy against India's batting lineup because they are just as good at chasing. And obviously, a total will depend on how good the pitch is, how small the boundaries are, a lot of factors. But yeah, in any total, you want to start off well. So it's important that Quinny and Mavuma set that platform. Get a, I think in the power play you want a minimum of 50 runs. Whether it's 1 or 2 wickets down, it's not a major deal. But if you can get to 50, 55 in the power play, that sets you up for the rest of the game. And then maybe Rossi can take a little bit of time to get going. But I don't want him to play the same way that he did in that first match. I don't think it was on purpose. He didn't want to go like that. He was struggling a bit until he finally got that new bat of his. That helped a lot, and then he finally started going again. But he needs to change a little bit, adapt his game to start a bit quicker. We saw him do that against England in the World Cup last year, and that's the Rassie that I want to see in this format. The one that combines so well with Aiden Markram. So hopefully that's something I'm looking at for the rest of the series, just for Rassie to get going a little bit quicker. Otherwise, it puts too much pressure on the batter at the other end. Not everybody is going to come in and strike it immediately as well as David Miller did in the last game. Even he himself won't always be able to do it. So it's important to have that those partnerships at both ends. But I feel like our batting is pretty strong. If Temba hits form, Rassie, Miller, Aiden Markram, that's a strong top five. And then I have a lot of faith in Tristan Stubbs. I know it's misplaced because he hasn't played, he hasn't batted in international cricket yet. He hasn't done much at the IPL yet, but that was hardly a fair chance. But just the way he goes about it, from what I've seen, the way he sets up, the way he times the ball, the way he gets into good positions, the way he sweeps the spinners, I have a good feeling about him and what he can possibly do. So I'd love to see a lot more of him in this series as well. And then hopefully our all-rounders fight it out. If they do decide to then eventually just go with the one all-rounder, it will be a bit of a fight between Dwayne Pretorius and Wayne Pernell. And then it will come down to, do they want the guy who will offer more with the bat or who will offer more with the ball? And that can also be a tricky one. But I think in T20s, you'd rather err on the side of a guy who can lend you more with the ball, because if you're coming in at 7 or 8, you won't even always get the chance to bat in T20. So I'd rather then go with the guy who's going to offer you more with the ball, maybe the guy who's going to be more effective at the death, which is a real skill and something that South Africa have struggled with in the past.
Yeah. So I truly believe that yesterday, they're saying it a lot on commentary, actually. They were speaking a hell of a lot on it, about it on commentary. I don't know what everybody else around the world watches, what commentary they get, but with regards to the commentary we got, a lot was repeated about the fact that, on this particular pitch, on that particular pitch yesterday, with the small boundaries, if you just miss your line and length slightly, you're going to the boundary. So you needed to be, our bowlers needed to be on song perfect, basically, to make sure that they can really do well. That's why two teams could score 200 runs. So because both teams struggled with that. If you've just missed it slightly, you're going to the boundary. So I think when our bowlers will fine tune that with rhythm. We normally slow starters, and I actually tweeted it out yesterday. I was like, yeah, we kind of slow. We're starting here slowly. We'll get that slow start out of the way quickly. And I think that's got to do with it, especially Shamsi, who's been sitting doing nothing basically for a long period of time now. He hasn't really played games for quite some time, so I think he'll get into the swing of things again. Him being on song is so important to Temba because he can bring him in and take him and make sure that he can get wickets. He's a wicket taking bowler, and when he's not taking wickets, it's tough. That's why you have a second spinner that can kind of hold the end. But I do think that if Aiden can get his first 2 overs in at the beginning of an innings, opening up maybe or coming in second, and getting those 2 overs out of the way quickly with minimum damage, that's the perfect scenario for South Africa, I feel, because then the rest of the bowlers are perfect to be able to take the attack or get wickets and throttle the opposition. So that's the perfect scenarios. We can't always get the perfect scenario. Like yesterday, for example, with Keshav, we expected him to do it too. He was a bit unlucky though. That first 4 that he got was turned a hell of a lot. I don't think he expected it himself that it would turn so much. So he got a little bit unlucky as well. Maybe we're going to see a better player, and we'll be talking about a different scenario, singing a different tune on Sunday. But let's wait and see for that. So your prediction for the game? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win? With regards to conditions, have you checked that out yet? Maybe have you seen other previews and what other people have said maybe online? I know you read a hell of a lot about cricket, so that's why I'm asking you that question. What are other people saying about it?
Yeah, I do read a lot, but I don't know the conditions at. I think they're playing at Kutak. I don't know the conditions there at all because they haven't played. I can't remember if they've played an IPL game there at all. So I'm not too familiar, and I haven't heard what they said about it. But either way, both teams will have to adapt to the new ground. It's good that there isn't those strict bubble regulations in this or bio bubble regulations in this series, that they're able to play at different grounds with full capacity crowds. I think it feels a lot more normal to the players, and that helps. Yeah, as far as a prediction, I think India will come back strong in the second match. They did well for a big part of the first match as well. Yeah, it's a difficult one to call. I'm gonna say India's gonna come back and win tomorrow to make it 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Are we playing tomorrow or Sunday? Are we
Oh,
playing...
not tomorrow, Sunday. Sorry.
Oh, you go. I thought I got it wrong. Sorry. No,
no, Sunday.
Okay, Sunday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Like I said, I'm interested to see. I do think that this momentum from South Africa's perspective, though, is going to take them. I don't think they initially when. They obviously backed themselves to win the match, but I mean, a lot of people around would have been like, 200, not going to happen. And they did it. So I think that confidence is going to be fantastic. And they generally are slow starters. So winning the first game is quite big for, I feel, in India as well, against a team that is quite on confidence. So
massive achievement.
So I think that confidence will carry them in, and we might get a 2-0. That might be the 2-0 that we're getting close to that 3 that we're looking for.
I'd love for us to win it. We've now beaten India 6 matches in a row, right? Those last 2 test matches, then the 3 ODIs, now the first T20. So we've been on a bit of a roll against them. So hopefully they can continue.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with what Rassi said after the game. It's a video that maybe not, or a piece of content that not a lot of people might have seen. I don't know if they have. We put it on TikTok. The fact that we have a TikTok account is funny. I started it because I'm trying to promote the channel as best as possible. But yeah, this is what Rassi had to say after the game on the pitch. Let's have a listen to what he had to say. Thank you, Superkazi, once again. There's a shout out to her. She's doing some excellent work. Every single tour, she goes above and beyond for us as journalists and as content producers, etc., to give us good content. So I just want to give a quick shout out to her. Thanks a lot for that. It wasn't necessary for her to do this because there was a press conference, but she thought that she'll give some SA media and some people some content. So here we go.
Rassi, unbelievable performance today. Tell us a bit about the match.
Yeah, tough match. Good toss to win. Temba made the right call there. We knew, having played a match earlier in the week, that it's a fast-scoring ground, so they batted really well to get over 200. but we knew if we batted well, we could chase that. So David played very well to get me through a difficult patch there in the middle. But clear plans, and we just communicated well and trust in our plans and each other. And glad that we could take it over the line.
Your own performance was incredible. How did you go about building your innings?
It took a while to get used to the conditions and get the pace of the wicket. I was a bit slow, about 30 or 30 balls, but then I always knew if I can get one or two away that the momentum will shift.
It's a bit of pain.
So I suppose the lesson is just to trust in the game plan and have a clear mind regardless of what your score and balls faced is. And again, if we knew if David and I was there at the end, we would get close and probably get us over the line.
What was your assessment of that wicket?
Pretty good wicket. With some spin, there was something for the seamers, a bit of swing. The wicket was playing really well. Obviously 400 runs in the day. Fast, lightning, hard outfield here, so you get value for your shots, and great conditions for T20s.
Fantastic batting by Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne was brilliant. They had clear plans, they had clear instructions to go in and put them under pressure. And I mean, we know how far he hits the ball, and he's just a intimidating figure. So so he played brilliantly.
That part there, Werner, he had clear plans. He knew what he had to do. It's good to see that. When I looked at when they panned away to the dressing room on Mark Boucher, I could see it. That Mark Boucher, Bavuma, that was a senior decision in the camp to decide, go out there, go play a game, get us out of trouble over here. Like I'm liking that. I have to give credit to Mark Boucher over here for how he's improved our game in T20 cricket. We are progressing every single time I watch us play in T20 cricket. It seems like we are progressing and getting better when we have a full team available to us. Because I know it's easy to say, but we lost these matches after that, but not all the time have we had a full team available to us like we have currently. And we never had Aiden who's taken us out of trouble in a long time. But what's your thoughts on that particular part of the video?
Yeah, the Dwayne clearly had the right mindset. They told him to go in there and strike it big to lift that run rate up, because in a big chase of this, you need to try and break a bit of it during the power play already. So it was a good call. He did a similar job for the Paul Rocks in the Mzansi Super League, and I enjoyed how they used him there. I remember Faf talking about it was a clear plan in that series to use him in that way. And he struck lasting blows. And he also, that 77 he's made in a T20 international was also coming in at number 3 against Sri Lanka. So it's not totally unknown to him. And we do know how big he can strike it. And I don't think India would have planned for it. They definitely wouldn't have planned for him coming in at 3. So there was that element of surprise as well. So I think it worked out very well. I don't know if they're going to use him in that way again necessarily. But definitely for that match, it was a very good call. And what it also did was, when you looked at that 11, it looked like our batting lineup was a battered light, right? Because he would have come in at 6 and now 7, and then it's the rest of the bowlers. So what it did was lengthen that batting lineup a little bit as well, with him coming in at 3. Then that meant that Rossi still came in at 4 and Miller 5, and Stubbs would have come in at 6.
Mm-hmm. You know, also what I want to add here, I think that Dwayne is a nice trump card to have, because I don't think that 80% of the time that this will happen. I know he's done it in the past. He scored 70s, he scored 60s. He's done well for the Power Rocks. He's done well for other teams as well doing that. We've seen him in tournaments domestically where he does do well in T20s or one-day internationals, hitting the ball and doing a good striker's job of it. But I think that because I've seen some people maybe suggest that he should take that Mitch Marsh role, and I don't think that they can take a permanent role as a number 3. I think the situation called for something like that to happen, and it's nice to know that we can have someone like that in the side that we can do that with. So maybe as a trump card, and have that as an option. Don't rule it out. If the opportunity arises where they need that to happen and the guy's feeling good, by all means, sacrifice it. I think it's a good sacrifice to have, especially because you have a second all-rounder there in Owen Parnell who can hit the ball as well, really well. So I think it was a smart move, and I think it's a nice option to have in the back. Either end, if we need it at the back end, because I mean, generally speaking, we'll need him at the back end if all of our batters are actually going out there and we kind of scoring at a good rate, decent rate, but then we lose a couple of clustered wickets and then he can come in. That's also another scenario that will suit him. But let's watch this the rest of these videos. I think it's about a couple of seconds left, a minute left.
I mean, we know how far he hits the ball, and he's just a intimidating figure. So so he played brilliantly.
And what to do in the next match just to make sure that you keep
Preview from Rassi
in front of this series?
I think, from a personal point of view, just adapting a little bit quicker to the conditions. You don't always put yourself under pressure to catch up at the end, and obviously put the team under pressure. So at first 15, 20 balls, maybe have a look at some options there. And then maybe our bowling looks like they played well, but I think there's a few boundary balls there that we could have restricted. So yeah.
Awesome. Guys, go follow our TikTok account if you want little clips from this. Yeah, so Werner, I think that's a perfect preview. Final words from you?
Yeah, I don't know much about TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account, but do go follow, guys. You'll get these little snippets that you won't see anywhere else, apparently. So do go follow there as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the match on Sunday. I think all the games are at the same time, so that makes it easy to remember. But hopefully we see more of the same from the Proteas, a little bit more or better execution with the ball. Hopefully, if both spinners do play, they come into the game a lot more. That Shamsi shows us why he is still currently number one in the world. Hopefully he does come back strongly. I do have a lot of faith in him, just the way he's played over the last 2 years. That won't suddenly just go away. I do think he just needs a little bit of game time. But hopefully more of the same from our batters as well. I'd love to see Quinny fire at the top with Timba and Rassi to follow. And then I want to see what Stubbs can do.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Really, I'm excited to see Stubbs because the first time I saw him was in the Kaya Majolo week in 2018. He was the highest run scorer in the tournament. I watched him smack guys around the ground like with ease. Unfortunately, he was a little bit unlucky because I feel that COVID happened. It stopped his career kind of. It actually blipped him for 2 years. So I think there would have been a massive hype around Tristan as well, I think. Similarly, maybe to David, even if he had an opportunity, he didn't play in the World Cup, I don't think, under 19 World Cup. So,
no. But what COVID did do is give him time to do a lot of gym work, and that added a lot to his power game.
Yeah, he got bad, but he was a massive guy already in high school.
Well, he was a tall guy, but he's put on a lot of muscle, and he really is in good striking shape.
Top shape. Yeah. So yeah, I think there would have been similar hype around him if he got an opportunity to play. Like, a lot of people are comparing it to Deelvat again and saying, how come Deelvat didn't get an opportunity over Tristan? And I was just like, guys, you are sleeping on the ability that Tristan has. He has amazing striking ability, and we mustn't forget that there's another boy that could have easily been the major superstar and get signed everywhere, and that's Daniel Smith. The hype was more around Daniel Smith in that year than it was around Deelvat, actually. I mean, Daniel was seen as the next big thing. Missed out on the World Cup because of his age. He just missed out on being the World Cup. He was the captain of us, his under 19, Deelvat's captain as well, in fact. And then we saw him come into senior cricket and take pretty well to it. Even though it's the first time he played 4-day cricket, he looked pretty decent there. Showed some signs of it when he got an opportunity in the white ball arena as well. So he's another one to watch out for the future. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Don't sleep on Tristan Stubbs, guys. I'm just hoping that he can perform with the confidence that we know he can perform with, and he puts on the performance that we all know he can. But guys, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos, please. Also, please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also do like Lawrence and do like so many others and become a patron today. click on the screen as well as in the description. That will really support the channel as best as possible. You can also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates, like I showed you earlier on in the show. We do reports, we do reaction pieces, we do previews, we do many articles, features, etc., all on cricketfanaticsmag.com. So please go ahead and follow us there too. It's very important that you do so. It's out where you'll get all your daily content other than YouTube. So guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys again on Sunday for another review show after the game. Good luck to Proteas and India. Hope the Proteas will take us to victory. Thank you a lot, Verna, for coming on the show as well and keeping me company. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you soon.